How'd you handle this Ravens season? Let's get right into it.
I mean,
here.
I was thrilled. I was also terrified. The instant we got to the play, first of all, I mean, Lamar Jackson single-handedly changing the game, revolutionizing, the way the game is played right now. The single most exciting athlete I've seen in football since Barry Sanders. Like every time he touches the ball, your heart rate goes up and you go like, what's going to happen next? And as a fan of the Ravens, the most terrifying player. Like every time he took off outside of the pocket, I was like, oh God, no, please
get down, right? Get down,
get down, kid, get down. And I spent the season just like yo-yoing back and forth between those things. And then when I saw the draw for the playoffs and saw that we had Tennessee, and people were like, "Oh man, we're gonna next stop Kansas City." I said the instant I saw Tennessee, I said we got a problem.
They just had a whole.
They played football. The Ravens played in the early 2000s,
right?
And beat us with it because we don't have, as of right now, the defense we had.
Well, I guess you'll probably never have that defense again.
Well, no one ever will. But
it's so damn special. But I think what the Ravens do need is one more, well, at least a viable wide receiver threat. I know I like the number of tight ends that they have.
Yeah.
And Hollywood Brown was terrific in week 1. And then he was great out here in Los Angeles when he caught several of the 5 touchdowns by Lamar.
He was a kid.
Willie Snead. I think the Ravens, if they could add some sort of physical beast wide receiver,
trade up and grab Jefferson or somebody,
right? Or get name someone from Alabama, pretty much.
No, seriously. Like if you can if you can get up that high,
I don't think you can. But try. But they're so deep that the wide receiving class that we're going to see at the Combine next week, you could sit back on. I think that's Thursday night. You'll see them all, and it's supposed to be incredible. But that would be a great new shiny.
Absolutely, would love
weapon.
To see it. We've done that before. Put all of our faith in drafting a first-round wide receiver. Rashad Perriman comes to mind. That hasn't panned out. What I'm most interested in seeing the Ravens do is build the interior offensive line and build their defense back up. Because Lamar Jackson, Ingram, even with the weapons they have on the outside right now and the tight end scheme that they're using, I think can be a real force in the NFL. But it's in as much as the game is changing, there are certain aspects of it that you absolutely have to, when you get into the playoffs, play old school style football in order to win, just like Tennessee did. Like they proved it again and again and again and again. And that's why Kansas City was so amazing throughout the course of the year.
Right.
They had those sort of fundamental things on lock, and that's a place where the Ravens have been shaky the last few years and definitely were this year.
But what has it been like for you to have an MVP quarterback? With all due respect to Joe Flacco, and by the way, here on the Rich Eisen show, by saying with all due respect, you can say anything you want that's disrespectful after that.
Sure, no, absolutely.
But Joe had an incredible playoff run the year that the Ravens won the Super Bowl with Flacco. Certainly, when he bet on himself, and that is always pressure filled, and he had a great year. I'm done trying to set up the fact that I did say something disrespectful for Joe. But what was it like to have from week 1, week 16? For probably the first time in your fandom, a quarterback that was clearly far and away the best quarterback in the NFL for a playing season.
It was so fun.
I had to have been.
It was so fun. God, I mean, I sort of flashed back to like what it must have been like for Falcons fans in the early, Mike Vick days, and the Eagles fans during the Randall Cunningham days, and like. I sort of vaguely remember like what Colorado Buffalo fans were like. During the Cordell Stewart year, they were walking on air and totally thrilled, and everyone wanted to watch their games, because of everything that was going on, and you just going, yeah, those are our guys, yeah, that's our guy, that's our dude, and then you get to see the rest of the organization. And what's so beautiful about the Ravens is that they're like such a perfect symbiosis with the city. Like that organization, particularly this team as it existed last year, fits that city so well that it was thrilling. It was thrilling to see the fans get that sort of opportunity. It was cool.
For more of the Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.